Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Asia Lachey Reads, and today I have a huge book haul for you. Okay, so I wanted to go through all the books that I've gotten over like the last 3 or 4 months because I haven't done like a big book haul or anything recently, so I want to go over all the books I have. I'm not sure how many I have, but there's a lot here. But I put them all into like groups, so I'll go over which group they are and everything like that. So the first group I do have is going to be my romance. So we'll start off with those. The first two that I got are Christmas romances. I'm going to see if I like Christmas romance, and hopefully I do. So I picked up two. The first one I picked up is Faking Christmas, and this one is about a girl who basically tells her boss that she runs, like, I think it's a bed and breakfast, but her sister really runs it, and so she has to pretend that this is like her bed and breakfast and her boss wants to come and stay. So she goes to the bed and breakfast while he is there, and she has to pretend that her like arch nemesis is her husband. So we're gonna get that fun aspect, so fake marriage and all of that. So I figured this one would be fun to pick up for Christmas. And then the next one I got was The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. I'm not 100% sure what this one was about. I just saw it and I like Lucy Score's writing, so I had to pick it up. Oh, so it's about a single dad who the single dad and town manager, Noah Yates, has always taken his responsibility seriously, but when a last season hurricane turns Mary, Connecticut into a disaster, he's left scrambling to pick up the pieces of the homes he loves. And so basically an influencer comes to throw this Christmas bash and get everything back to the way it was, and I guess it's like grumpy like sunshine, so she's there to set up this whole Christmas thing, but he is the grumpy dad, single dad. So I figured this one would be fun for Christmas too, and hopefully I like it because I do like Lucy's Score. The next one I have is a dark romance, and that is going to be Dark Notes by Pam Godwin. This is a taboo teacher-student romance about a girl who goes to a music school and ends up having like a relationship with their teacher, I guess. So I'm excited to pick this one up. I've heard a lot of people who like dark romance like this one, so we will see. And I love dark taboo romances, so I'm excited to pick this one up. The next one I picked up was Heartless by Elsie Silver. This is a part of the Chestnut Springs series. This one is about Cade Eaton, and he is the brother from the main character in the first novel, and this is a age gap romance about him and the woman who he hires to watch his child. So close proximity, enemies. I don't know, they're not enemies, but we'll see how that goes. Age gap, and everyone loves this series. I did enjoy the first book. It wasn't my favorite thing ever, but I'm excited to pick this one up and see if I like this one better than the first one. And then I have 3 Sophie Lark books. So the first one is Savage Lover, and this, I forgot what the series, the Brutal Birthright series. This is the fourth book in the Brutal Birthright series, and this one follows Camilla Riviera and Nero Gallo, and Nero is the brother of our main female character from the first one, and I really love Sophie Lark's writing and it's a mafia romance, so I am excited to finally pick up the 4th book in this series. Yeah, and so I don't want to go too much detail, but this is a standalone mafia romance, and I'm excited to finally pick up the next one. The 2 other Sophie Lark books I got were There Are No Saints and There Is No Devil, and I guess this is a serial killer like murder romance, so that's all you had to say to get me to want to buy these. And I like Sophie Lark's writing, so I'm so excited to pick these up. And I love these covers, like they're just so beautiful. The black and the white just looks so good like on the shelves, so I'm excited to pick this up. And I figured a serial killer romance would be like a perfect thing to read over like the next couple months. So I'm excited about those. The next romance I have is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Paulson. This is about a girl who inherits her aunt's apartment, and she goes to live in it, and one day she comes home to find a man in her apartment. But the thing is, they're like, he's 7 years in the past and she's 7 years in the future. And so I guess this is like their romance. And I've heard so many people love this book. And I recently read The Dead Romantics by her and I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to give this one a try and see if I like it as well. And then I have A Thousand Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I don't know a whole lot about this one. I just know that it is sad and people cry when they're reading this book. And it like destroys them. So that's all I needed to know. And that's kind of how I want to keep it. But I don't know if I'm ready to pick this up yet or not. So if you've read it and liked it, definitely let me know down below so I can maybe prioritize this. But I wanted a book that's sad because there's like sometimes when I'm like, I just want a sad book. So I figured I would get this one and see if I cry just as much as everyone else. And then the next set of books I have is going to be my fantasies and like fantasy romance. So I have quite a bit of these. The first one I picked up was Have a Soul by Olivia Atwater. I don't remember a whole lot about what this one is about because I bought it quite a while ago. But so our main character is cursed by a fairy, and you just say fairy and like curses, and like I heard this gives like fall vibes, so I just had to pick it up because fairies, magic, all of that kind of stuff. So we will see how I like this one. But I'm kind of thinking the ones that I don't know a whole lot about, maybe I will just keep it that way and just go into them blind, because I find like I enjoy books way more when I don't know a whole lot about them. But I know this one has a fake curse, and that's kind of all I need to know. The next one is going to be The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik. This is book 2 in the Scholomance series. The first one is A Deadly Education. I read that one a couple weeks ago and I really enjoyed it. It's a fantasy about a school where there's magic and all kinds of stuff and different groups with like different powers and stuff like that. And basically in this school, like everything tries to kill you. You're lucky if you make it through the school and all of that. People that don't have like a friend group or people to help protect them are kind of screwed in this world because a lot of things can happen in that school, like different creatures and all this kind of stuff can like kill you. So it follows like our main character, and I think she's in her second year, and so this one is The Last Graduate, the second one, and I believe this is like their last year, and they have to pass this like final like test to be able to like graduate and leave the academy, and more than like half of the student body don't pass. So yeah, this is the second one. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I'm excited to get into this world again, and it was really fun in the first one, so I had to pick this one up. The next two I picked up, I don't know a whole lot about. I just saw them at Barnes & Noble one day, and I had to have them. The first one is A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden. This looks like the first in an epic fantasy romance trilogy. Captured by the King of Darkness, she was forced to find the light within. And so, dark fantasy romance, that's all I need to know. And this cover is just seriously so beautiful. Like, these kind of covers always draw me in. So yeah, I'm excited to pick this one up. It says, Arwen Vondel never expected to be the brave one, offering her life to save her brothers. Now she's been taken prisoner by the most dangerous kingdom on the continent and made to use her rare magic ability to heal the soldiers of a vicious Onyx King. So yeah, this should be really cool, and I'm guessing she falls for the Onyx King. So this one should be fun. Dark magical powers. I love that in a fantasy, and it's a fantasy romance, so of course I had to have it. The next one I got was Legend by Stacey McEwen. This one I've seen a few people haul recently, and so I saw it at Barnes & Noble and I decided to pick it up. And it basically says, The Glacian Trilogy Book 1. In a place known as the ledge. Civilization is tapped by a vast chasm and sheer mountain face. Rations are small, living is tough, and there is no escape without befalling a deathly drop. What's more, every season the people must present themselves as a sacrifice to the Glacian's mysterious and vicious winged creature who resides beyond the ledge. Dawson has so far avoided the annual culling, but her luck has run out. She is ripped from her icy home with no idea what will happen to her, enslaved, murdered, or worse. So I'm guessing this is about her and being given up as a sacrifice, and in an icy, wintry world, I figured it would be perfect for the winter months with the snow and just get the whole vibe of like where they live, like snowy forest in the mountains. Like, it sounds fantastic. So I figured I'd pick this up probably in like December or January when it's really cold and snowing outside. The next one I have is one of my most anticipated releases for the year, and that is going to be Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. This is a first in a new fantasy series from her. It's one that's actually not set in the Shadowhunter world, so this is her first adult fantasy debut. I don't know a whole lot about this one, and I want to keep it that way. I want to go in surprised and just get lost in the world without knowing a whole lot about it. So I just know I love her writing, and I loved all of her other books, so I'm so excited to finally pick up her adult fantasy and just getting into a new world of hers and see what else she can come up with that's not in the Shadowhunter universe. And then I have a fan favorite from a ton of people. Everyone talks about this book, and this one is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This is on so many people's like favorite book of the year. This is about two characters who have magic typewriters that end up sending letters to each other, and the male love interest is the only one who knows who the letters are coming from. The main female character is sending letters to her brother that is off at war, and so they get sent to our male love interest instead. So this is about them, and they're both rivals at a paper, and so they're both fighting for a journalism spot. So there's a bit of enemies to lovers aspects in this, and I just can't wait to pick it up and see if I love it as much as everyone else does. So it should be a fun read to pick up here soon, and it's pretty short, so I'm excited to pick this up. And yeah. And then the next one I have, I actually opened in my vlog last week, and it is Son of Blood and Ruin by Marlia Arnes. I think that's how you say it. And this edition is just the most beautiful thing like I think I've ever seen. And so I'll take off the dust jacket too so you can see it. Like the colors and like the gold foiling. The spine is like one of my favorites. I think it'd be pretty just to put this on the shelf with a spine like this. And just like the sprayed edges, and then the inside for the cover art is pretty too. And then we also got a reversed dust jacket to go with it as well. Yeah, so that's really pretty. And I guess this is basically a spin on Zorro, and so it's a female Zorro character. And that's kind of all I know about that. It sounds so good, and I'm really happy I was able to get this special edition from Fairy Loot. But yeah, I'm excited to pick this one up. Yeah, I might pick this one up soon and put it in like a reading vlog. I'm not sure yet, but I just love this edition so much, and a female Zorro sounds really interesting and fun. So on the back it says, what is this I hear about a masked vigilante who calls herself Pantera? They say she's the finest swordsman in the New World, that she is a witch, that she will be the end of us all. And I mean, that line alone sold me on this book before I even read like the synopsis or anything. So I'm excited to pick this up. A witch Zorro retelling, sounds like all my favorite things. The next one I have is actually one that I just finished last night, and I absolutely loved it, and that is Throne of the Fallen by Kerri Maniscalco. This is set in the same world as her Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy. This follows Envy and Camilla, and Envy is playing a game with the Unseelie King to help his court, and so he has to find Camilla to commission like a painting for him in order to get his clue for the next game, and it kind of goes from there. And then you get to see them going through all these different like challenges and stuff to win the game, so Emby can do what he needs to do for his court. And I just loved it. I love the romance, I love the characters, it was so much fun. And it is set in the Kingdom of the Wicked World. You don't have to read those to read this one, but I would suggest it, like if you're wanting to read that series, definitely read it before you read this, because it would have some spoilers in here for the previous series. But you definitely don't have to read that series in order to read this one. This one is a new adult fantasy, so it's not YA like her other series is. But yeah, I really love this. It was such a fun, like, fantasy romance, and I just loved it. And Carrie Maniscalco has like a fun writing style. And then I have 2 other books. These are like my third copies, but we're not going to talk about that. So I got House of Earth and Blood and House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. And these are the new Barnes & Noble editions, and I absolutely love them. This is one of my all-time favorite series. It's just so good. And this is about Bryce Quaylen, and she is Fae, and she lives in Crescent City. And basically in this world there's witches, werewolves, vampires, Fae. There's just all kinds of like magical creatures. And at the beginning of the book, something happens to like her friends, and it kind of sets in motion all this different stuff, and she has to go and team up with a fallen angel named Hunt, and they have to just go through a bunch of stuff and figure out some mysteries of like who hurt her friends and all of that. And I just love this world. It's one of my favorites of all time. Definitely, if you're a Sarah J. Maas fan and you haven't read it, pick it up. But yeah, I definitely love it. And I got these editions so I could do a reread. The new one comes out in January. So I'm going to reread this one in November and then the second one in December, in order to prepare myself for the new one. And I want to annotate these and just make them all like super pretty. But yeah, I had to pick these up for my collection because I absolutely love this series. And then the next one I picked up, I actually found it at Walmart, and it's God Killer by Hannah Kaner. And I have no idea what this is about, but I've heard so many people love it, and this cover just got me, like the deer and everything. It's so pretty. And so I'm just gonna go into this fantasy blind. But yeah, I picked this one up just because I've heard good things about it, and it's just a beautiful cover, and I would like just display this on my shelves because I love this cover so much. Okay, and then the next one I have is going to be some graphic novels, and then I have some YA fantasy. So the first, I have some manga. So the first mangas I have are going to be volumes, I have 4 as well, 1 through 4 of Chainsaw Man. These are the first 3. The other one is on my TBR shelf. So yeah, I picked this up. This is a manga series about a guy who gets fused with a demon and is now called Chainsaw Man. So this is a fun little series to pick up. I needed a new manga series, and I saw this, and so many people have talked about it, so I decided to pick this one up. But yeah, I normally don't go into a whole much of detail when it comes to manga, just because they're normally pretty short, and I like to go into manga more blind, like just get the gist of it. But yeah, this is basically a boy who makes a deal with a demon, and now he's part demon, and he gets in with a group of demon hunters. So that's kind of all I know about this one. And then the one I have, 2 I have next are from Junji Ito. The first one is going to be Sorji, and this is about the character Sorji. Junji Ito is a master of like horror manga. He's like my all-time favorite. Like, he's what made me fall in love with like manga and horror manga. So I have Soichi, and then Mimi's Tales of Terror. And this is his illustrated version of a novel called Mimi's Tales of Terror. So I picked up both of these just because Junji Ito is my favorite, and I had to add them to my collection. But yeah, I'm really excited. I finally have some new Junji Ito. And this one actually found it at Barnes & Noble early because it wasn't supposed to come out until the 24th. And it was there, so I had to pick it up. Okay, and the next 2 I have are Dark Academia. So I was looking at the Dark Academia section at Barnes & Noble just because I know I'm going to be feeling that mood here soon. So the first one I have is Soulless Girls. It says, 10 years ago, 4 students lost their lives in an infamous unsolved North Tower murder at elite Carver Academy of Arts, forcing the school to close its doors. Now Carver is reopening, and freshman Lolita is determined to find out what really happened, what her beautiful but standoffish roommate Alice Wolf stumbles upon a sinister soul-splitting ritual in a book hidden in Carver Library, and the North Tower claims another victim. Is there a killer among them, or worse, within them? So yeah, I saw this and I was like, that sounds so good. Like, they found like a spell book and Dark Academia and murders that they're trying to solve. Like, it just sounds like a bunch of my favorite things. So I got that one. And If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. This is about a bunch of Shakespeare students in college and what happens to them, and I guess someone gets murdered. And so this book starts off with the detective asking one of them what really happened and finally getting the truth. So I'm guessing this has to do with what really happened while they were at school, and you get to see the murder and all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm excited about this one. So many people love this, and it's like one of those go-to Dark Academia books. So yeah, I had to pick this one up. The next one I have is a horror, and that's going to be Slewfoot and by Broom, A Tale of Bewitchery, and it says, an ancient spirit awakens in a dark woods. The wild folk call him Father, Slayer, Protector. The colonists call him Slewfoot, Demon, Devil. To Abatha, a recent widowed outcast, alone and vulnerable in their precious village, he is the only one she can turn to for help. Together they ignite a battle between pagan and Puritan, one that threatens to destroy the entire village, leaving nothing but ash and blood in its wake. So I had to have it because, like, witchy fun vibes, like, that's what I'm here for, like witchy, devil, all that kind of stuff. And so I'm excited to pick this one up. I'm probably going to pick it up here soon because I figured it'd be perfect for like the week of Halloween. So maybe I'll do like a reading vlog that week. But look how pretty this cover is. Like, I love it. Like, she's so pretty in this. I told my friend as a joke, I was like, yeah, it could be me on the cover because she has like red hair and stuff. But yeah, I'm excited to pick this up because I love witchy, like demon-esque vibes, and this I think is going to deliver that. And then now I have all of my YA fantasy. So the first one I have is going to be Foxglove, and this is the sequel to Belladonna, and this is a YA fantasy, and basically our main character can't die and she can see death, and she goes to live with her in-laws and she ends up seeing the ghost of her dead aunt, and so there's a mystery aspect of that, and her cousin is sick. So the first book is all about that, and this is the second one in that, and I'm excited to pick this up and see kind of where the story goes from there. But yeah, that's kind of like all I know about this one. But yeah, this has been like a good, fun, quick YA series. The next one I have is going to be Fall of Ruin and Wraith by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is a new series from her. I don't know a whole lot about it. It says she lives by her intuition, he feeds on her pleasure. Breathtaking suspense and searching romance meet in this immense new fantasy novel. So that's kind of all I want to know about this one. I'll kind of go into a blind and see if I like it. Jennifer L. Armentrout's books have been so hit and miss for me. Like, the beginning of the Blood and Ash series I really loved, but once we heard the third book and the fourth book, I lost interest, so I haven't even picked up those ones. So I'm hoping I like this one better than I liked the ending, or like the last couple books in that series. And then I have Night of the Witch, and I just saw this at Walmart and I was like, oh, Night of the Witch, like I have to pick this up because I love witchy things. And it says, when I turn around, we are no longer Fitz and Odo, we are Witch and Hunter, and it is time. So this, I'm guessing, is about a witch and a witch hunter, and something happens with them. So I'm guessing there's going to be like a romance between the two, and I'm really excited. it says that their love could never be forbidden. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this one is. I love witchy books, and especially like witchy romance books where they fall in love with someone they're not supposed to. So this one should be a fun read. Maybe I'll also read this like the last week of October. And then the last book I have is my one my one and only thriller. And I did find this one at the thrift store, and so I'm excited to pick it up. And it says she started it, and I saw this one on my friend's Goodread, and she read it and really enjoyed it. So I wanted to pick this one up. I've heard like mixed reviews on it, but for my thrillers, I never like to go, like if I don't know a whole lot about them, I won't read the synopsis again. Like I read it before and I don't remember. So I'm going to keep it that way and go into it blind, just because doing thrillers blind is way more enjoyable to me, because I feel like I don't guess everything that's going on in this. But yeah, that is the last book I have for this book haul. It was a little bit bigger one just because I haven't done like a book haul in a couple months. So yeah, I'll probably do another book haul probably in January sometime, just because I like to accumulate my books and do them all at once. But yeah, tell me if you've read any of the books and what you thought about them. Yeah, and I really enjoyed making this video, and I hope you guys had a good time. But yeah, that's going to be it for me today. Happy reading!